You probably know that good nutrition can have a positive effect on the quality of our bird's plumage. But did you know that it can also have an effect on the color? Well, Jeff Maddox tells us how and why in this short video. In this clip from a previously recorded live stream, Jeff Maddox, professional poultry nutritionist, explains how amino acids and microelements are vital to helping our birds attain their genetic potential for not only the quality of their plumage, but also its color. Now, here's Jeff.
So, lysine levels, I'd like to see you for sure above 1%. 1.2 is a little bit better. Methionine levels above 0.45 for sure. If you can get closer to 0.5, you're going to be happier. Your amino acids are what are the key building blocks to your feathers, right? Now, many of you have fed higher protein and you've seen the response of feeding higher protein gives you better feathers. That's true. And here's the reason why. A molecule of protein is made from 3 or more amino acids. So your amino acids are your building blocks to every protein. Now, for the last 100 years, they figured out that methionine is the first limiting amino acid for poultry. Okay, so when it's deficient, egg size isn't right, feathers aren't right, health of the bird isn't right, nothing really functions right. Well, okay, where do you get methionine? Now look, soybean meal and plant proteins are typically very, very rich in lysine. So it's not often that you have to add it unless there's a bunch of byproducts in the feed. So things you want to consider, if you're looking for a protein supplement, some of the better ones, you've heard me say before, I'm a fan of fish meal. All right. It's in this feed formula that I have off to the side, which is a 100-pound feed formula. So fish meal has great methionine levels, methionine in relationship to lysine. So it's higher in its relationship or ratio. The methionine's higher than, it's not higher than lysine, but it is one of the highest available methionines. If you can't get a good fish meal, consider like insect meals, whether it's dried black soldier fly, whether it's dried mealworms, dried crickets, those are generally a good clean option. You need to be careful, figure out where your mealworms are coming from. I didn't realize this until about a year ago, that close to 80% of the mealworms are being shipped in from China. Okay. And we have no idea what they're feeding their mealworms to raise them. So if you can, try and find domestic mealworms. Look, they feed crickets and mealworms chicken feed. So, it's fairly safe for the most part without insecticides and chemicals. All right. So once you get to your amino acids, then you want to focus somewhat on your trace minerals. You want to have good levels of trace minerals. And the reason is manganese, for instance, is going to give you a much deeper, richer black. So if you have a bird that has black feathering in it, you're going to want to make sure that your manganese levels are adequate. In fact, these levels at 97 are just bare minimum adequate for a black bird. You probably should be running closer to 150 parts per million. Birds with red in them, you're going to want to make sure that your iron level is adequate, depending on where you live, what's in the water, what's in the soil, and what's in the feed. So, your iron is going to translate over into your reds pretty significantly. Copper is going to support a lot of this as well. In general colors, copper is blue by nature. When you look at copper sulfate, for instance, it's going to be blue, but as it goes in and combines with the iron and the manganese, it's going to help with some of those unique colored birds. So make sure your trace mineral levels are where they need to be.
And we would like to take a quick moment to thank the Fortrell Company for their sponsorship that makes videos like these possible. The Fortrell Company has been making products for your soil, garden, and livestock that are better naturally. Isn't it amazing how proper nutrition can affect our birds in ways that we may have never imagined before? We hope you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you want to learn more from Jeff on how you can get free nutritious treats for your birds, watch this recommended video.